When I first laid eyes on that house, I honestly thought it was some kind of cosmic prank. Not the wrong address, just the wrong price. There's no universe where a place that size tucked up in the Wasatch with 10 bedrooms, a wraparound porch, two fireplaces, private road, and its own water source should be selling for less than $1 million. The listing had been gathering dust for over 7 years, wedged between ghost towns and floodplain warnings. I kept waiting for the catch scam, haunted maybe both, but in the end I signed the papers anyway. I needed quiet. Seattle had wrung me out 12 years of tech startups deadlines, those fake-friendly morning stand-ups, and overpriced coffee until my company finally went public and I got to disappear. I traded in all that noise for mountain silence, just me, my code in this doomsday prepper mansion with hand-carved beams and steel doors looking like a Civil War relic, kitted out for the apocalypse. The minute I stepped inside, it felt like the world had stopped breathing. No cars, no sirens, just wind and the occasional hawk overhead. I upgraded with satellite internet, solar, and a security system that would make a Bond villain blush, drones, motion sensors, the works. Some people meditate. I laser-proofed my mailbox. Life was peaceful, almost painfully so. Until one afternoon, a knock cut through the quiet like a warning shot. 3 people stood outside matching green jackets, clipboards, and that we have authority, smile. Members of the Highview Range Homeowners Association here to welcome me with a pamphlet and an invite to the community lunch. I told them as politely as I could I wasn't part of their community. They laughed like I'd just made their day, then launched into a pitch about fire service, road repair, security patrols, all for a modest fee. I declined. They handed me a card, Karen Painter, HOA president. Cute, I thought. That should have been the end of it, but you know how these stories go. 2 days later, Karen herself showed up alone this time, looking every bit the small-town queen bee in her perfectly coiffed hair and relentless eye contact. She peeked over my shoulder like she was appraising an auction house and told me flat out that my property could be a real asset to the community. I said no again. She smiled that practice smile, but you're in the community, at least physically. She started hinting about the East Wing, the part with its own entrance and kitchen, suggesting it would be perfect for community guest lodging. I told her I didn't care. She didn't blink, just adjusted her scarf, telling me the previous owner was very cooperative. I couldn't help myself. You mean the guy who disappeared 7 years ago? She held my gaze, her smile stretched a little thin. I shut the door on her. Next morning, a brochure showed up, slipped under my door, same HOA branding, but now with historic agreements scribbled in the margins. Someone had penciled in an East Wing usage schedule for the next board meeting. That's when I went full fortress mode, checked my legal boundaries, changed security codes, started backing up footage. I knew then Karen Painter didn't believe in no. A week later, the certified letter arrived, hand-delivered by a courier who looked like he wanted to disappear into the woods. 10 pages of legal threats. Highview Range HOA versus Jason Milner. They claim the previous owner had agreed verbally, mind you, to let the HOA use the East Wing as guest lodging. No signature, no deed, just a fairy tale they were calling a contract. They wanted $400,000 for breach of oral commitment. I called my lawyer, Lauren. She laughed so hard she nearly dropped her phone. Is this real? As a heart attack, I told her. Karen showed up again that afternoon, standing on the other side of my locked gate, holding a home-printed lease agreement. Temporary usage arrangement, win-win for everyone, she said, promising waived fees and priority booking on holidays. I told her I've seen cult documentaries. I'll pass. Her smile froze, then she leaned in, warning me that oral agreements are enforceable in Utah. Bring it to court, I said. She walked away, heels snapping like gunfire. That night I noticed scratches on my gate keypad. Drone logs showed nothing. Whoever did it knew how to avoid sensors. I upgraded everything, locked down every weak spot. But the real shocker came a week later, came back from town to find the gate hanging open and 3 men in HOA polos moving furniture into my East Wing, installing a new lock on the inside. I wanted to scream, but I played it smart, saved all the drone footage, called the cops. Their response: "Sounds like a civil matter, sir." "Yeah, thanks." Lauren didn't laugh this time. Document everything she said. We're going on offense. The next morning, Karen came back, this time with security guards and a clipboard. They walked right in with a key, measuring and planning renovations for what they called HOA Hospitality Suite. I watched from upstairs, seething, as they joked about giving me a bathroom if the court signs off. That was it. I created encrypted evidence archives, one for Lauren, one for the cloud, one for a USB I wore around my neck. Lauren moved fast, but the HOA moved faster next time I got home. They'd bolted and drywalled the interior door to my own east wing. The sheriff's deputy they sent, Ryan, was nice enough but useless. He agreed it was nuts, but said it was a civil dispute. I asked if tearing down that wall would be considered recreational demolition. He almost smiled, but it didn't help. That night, lights and music filled the east wing. I snapped and sent in my smallest drone, capturing footage of two men sleeping on air mattresses, HOA posters everywhere, a sign reading "Welcome Guests." They were already moving in. I didn't sleep. I started a new evidence folder, Phase 2 Invasion. At my lowest, I turned to the internet. Quietly, I messaged real estate forums, HOA, abuse groups, even a few true crime threads, hoping for a lead. Then one night I got a DM, UT Mountains 8. "You bought Tom Andrews' place, didn't you?" "I'm his nephew. Been waiting for someone to ask." His name was Philip, and he filled in all the blanks. Tom had been too generous, let the HOA use the east wing after a fire, verbally, no rent. Then rumors started, and the HOA told everyone the wing was already theirs. Tom sent a notarized revocation, upgraded the locks, warned Philip to stay away, and then vanished. His car was found abandoned, but nothing else except a final voicemail to Philip: "If I disappear, don't let them get that wing." Philip had receipts, a scanned revocation letter, a blurry trail cam shot of Karen walking near the house the day Tom vanished. Now he had my footage, too. Lauren pounced. We filed a counterclaim with everything: trespass, destruction of property, conspiracy to commit fraud. We requested a restraining order and a criminal referral for Tom's disappearance. I didn't stop there. I made a video, laid out the whole story, named names, tagged every HOA horror group I could find. The story went viral. Karen shut down her social media. A reporter called, then a podcaster, then a nonprofit. Suddenly, everyone was watching. Court was a circus. Karen showed up with lawyers and a PR rep playing the victim, spinning tales about community spirit. Lauren demolished them: revocation letter, time-stamped footage, drone audio. Then Philip took the stand, told the court about Tom's warning and disappearance. Our surprise witness, a former board member named Alton, testified that Karen pressured Tom, met him privately on the trail the day before he vanished. The judge went pale. We submitted everything, including the trail cam shot. The judge granted the injunction, barred the HOA from my property, and referred Karen and the board for criminal investigation. My ownership was restored. Afterward, reporters swarmed us. Philip said justice would be his uncle's name, remembered, not erased. Karen was silent, hustled into a black SUV. I went home, locked my gate, and for the first time the east wing was mine. No intruders, no fake welcome signs, no Karen. But peace wasn't the end. Truth was, and the truth had teeth. The fallout spread. Karen's name was splashed across every headline. The DA reopened Tom's case. Investigators raided the HOA office. Old board members came forward. The court awarded me damages, but I used the money for something better. I turned the East Wing into a legal aid center. 5 freedoms for folks bullied by HOAs. Philip became our investigator. Word spread, people came, single moms, veterans, retirees, all with their own HOA horror stories. I testified before the state legislature, read Tom's voicemail aloud. Lawmakers listened and for once acted a committee formed. New HOA oversight rules were drafted. Karen was arrested 6 weeks later, trespass, fraud, obstruction. She claimed it was all lies, but the evidence was too much, especially the file on her laptop labeled Phase 2 Acquisition JM. Philip and I watched her arraignment together. I never wanted any of this, I just wanted quiet. But I learned you have to fight for peace sometimes with everything you've got. A year passed. The center thrived. The East Wing was finally safe. Then one night a postcard showed up in my mailbox. No return address, just an old photo of the house and a message in red ink. You weren't the first, but you were the last. No signature. The cameras caught a hooded figure watching from the trees, but this time law enforcement took it seriously. Karen, awaiting trial, was slapped with house arrest. I sat on the porch, glass of scotch in hand, feeling the wind through the pines. I wasn't afraid anymore. The mountain was mine, and this hard-earned silence, yeah, that was real. So let me ask you, do you think justice was served? Was it enough? Or do we just keep fighting these battles one house, one story at a time? Drop your thoughts below, because if you've ever gone up against the HOA, you know the fight's never really over.